have been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome, which affects something like 1 in a million people.
Tragically, the music world has lost Brandon Blackstock, respected talent manager and former husband of singer Kelly Clarkson, at the age of 48. He passed away on August 7, 2025. A family representative confirmed the news, sharing that he passed away peacefully, surrounded by family, after bravely battling cancer for more than 3 years. In a career shaped behind the scenes, Blackstock managed major country acts including Blake Shelton, Rascal Flatts, and Carly Pearce through Starstruck Entertainment, and served as executive producer on The Kelly Clarkson Show. His final years were marked by a quiet fight against illness. Despite a painful and public divorce in 2020, Clarkson remained protective of him for the sake of their children, River, 11, and Remington, 9. She often reassured them, "You are so loved by both of us." For those who knew him, Brandon leaves behind a legacy of dedication to music and family. As I reflect, his truest success was measured not only in careers shaped, but in the love and protection he gave his children.
Than the previous 2 flights, and because they thought that the material there was different.
Jim Lovell, legendary Apollo 13 commander and the first astronaut to travel to space 4 times, has sadly passed away on Thursday, August 7th, 2025, in Illinois, at the age of 97. The news was confirmed in a statement from the Lovell family on Friday. No cause of death was provided. Lovell's remarkable career spanned Gemini 7, Gemini 12, Apollo 8, and Apollo 13. In 1970, an oxygen tank explosion crippled Apollo 13, stranding Lovell and his crew nearly 200,000 miles from Earth. Through calm strength under pressure, he helped guide them home safely, a successful failure that became one of NASA's finest hours. In their tribute, his family called him Dad, Granddad, our hero, praising his unshakable optimism and humor. NASA Acting Administrator Sean Duffy honored his steadfast courage that turned a potential tragedy into a triumph. For me, Lovell's voice in Apollo 13, brought to life by Tom Hanks in the 1995 film, is more than history. It's a reminder that true leadership shines brightest in crisis, inspiring generations to reach for the stars. Brian Wilson, legendary founder and creative heart of the Beach Boys, has sadly been laid to rest nearly 2 months after his passing at the age of 82. His daughter, Carney Wilson, confirmed the August 6th service on Instagram, calling it incredibly difficult, yet bringing more closure and restful peace. Wilson passed away on June 11th following a battle with dementia. His death certificate listed respiratory arrest, with sepsis and cystitis as contributing factors. As the creative genius behind timeless works like God Only Knows and Love and Mercy, Wilson shaped the soundtrack of a generation. Bandmates Mike Love and Al Jardine remembered, "Brian wasn't just the heart of the Beach Boys. He was the soul of our sound." In her grief, Carney finds comfort in signs from her father, like monarch butterflies that lingered at the service, and the thought that he can hear me and he can see me. For me, hearing God Only Knows will always feel like hearing a dear friend's voice on a warm summer day, a reminder that Brian's melodies will live on in our hearts. Tragically, the world of Latin music has lost Eddie Palmieri, pioneering bandleader and pianist whose bold rhythms transformed the genre at the age of 88. He passed away on Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. Fania Records, home to many of his classic albums, confirmed the news, calling him one of the most innovative and unique artists in music history. From the 1960s with his orchestra La Perfecta, Palmieri fused Afro-Caribbean beats with jazz in hits like Belongo, Café, and La Malanga. In 1974, he earned his first Grammy for the Son of Latin Music, going on to win more than half a dozen. His anthem, Puerto Rico, and the protest album Harlem River Drive reflected both his artistry and his advocacy. Honors included the NEA Jazz Master Fellowship and a place in the National Recording Registry. For me, Palmieri's music feels like a heartbeat, uniting cultures, lifting spirits, and reminding us that rhythm can carry the history of a people. His legacy will forever keep the dance floor alive. Col Joye, pioneer of Australian rock and roll whose hits like Bye Bye Baby defined a generation, has passed away at the age of 89. He died on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, after years of declining health. Though no cause was given, the beloved musician had shown remarkable resilience, bouncing back from illness in 2022. Born Colin Jacobson in Sydney's southwest, Joye rose to fame with Col Joye and the Joy Boys, scoring 3 number-one hits in 1959 and delivering Australia's first nationwide chart-topping album. He co-founded ATA All-Star Artists and later Jacobson Entertainment, managing acts from the Bee Gees to Olivia Newton-John. Life brought challenges. 2 near-fatal accidents in 1977 and 1990 left him with broken ribs and punctured lungs, and later business disputes strained family ties. Yet he returned to the spotlight and embraced new joys, becoming a grandfather at 80. For me, Col's music feels like summer nights by the radio, warm, hopeful, and alive. His rhythm helped shape Australia's musical heartbeat, a legacy that will never fade. Nancy King, Grammy-nominated vocalist and Portland jazz icon whose scat improvisations thrilled audiences worldwide, has died at the age of 85. The news was confirmed by local outlets KMHD, OPB, and KOIN. No cause of death was given. Raised outside Springfield by musical parents, King began her career at the University of Oregon, leaving after her civil rights activism in the 1960s. Her work along the West Coast led to collaborations with Sonny King, Pharoah Sanders, Vince Guaraldi, Miles Davis, Leroy Vinnegar, and Ray Brown. She earned 2 Grammy nominations for Live at Jazz Standard with Fred Hirsch, 2006, and Porter Plays Porter, 2017. Defying challenges, King spent decades at the forefront of jazz, recording with Glenn Moore and Steve Christofferson, and shaping future artists as a teacher at Portland State University. Known for her rose-colored glasses and the ability to sing circles around any song, she was, in the words of a colleague, perhaps the best jazz vocalist to ever live. For me, Nancy's voice was pure light, the kind that lingers, warms, and makes the soul dance. Terry Reid, British rock vocalist nicknamed Superlungs for his soaring, soulful voice, who famously turned down offers to join Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple, has died at the age of 75 after a battle with cancer. The news was confirmed by The Guardian. Reid's health had declined in recent weeks, cutting short plans for his biggest UK tour in decades. In 1968, Jimmy Page invited Reid to front Led Zeppelin, but he declined, recommending Robert Plant and John Bonham instead. He later turned down Deep Purple, choosing to pursue a solo career that produced acclaimed albums like Bang Bang, You're Terry Reid, and River. His songs were covered by artists from Cheap Trick to Chris Cornell, and Aretha Franklin once said, "There are only 3 things happening in England: the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and Terry Reid." Hearing The River today feels like stepping back into a sunlit afternoon of the 70s. Raw, unfiltered, and full of life. His voice may be silent now, but its fire will never fade. Jane Morgan, elegant American vocalist, whose hit Fascination charmed audiences worldwide and who graced The Ed Sullivan Show dozens of times, has died at the age of 101. Her family announced she passed away peacefully in her sleep on Monday, August 4th, 2025, in Naples, Florida, while in hospice care. Morgan's career began in Paris nightclubs in the late 1940s, where her silky phrasing and multilingual repertoire made her an international sensation. Returning to the U.S., she recorded about 40 albums in 5 languages, scored a Billboard Top 10 hit with Fascination, and a Top 40 follow-up with The Day the Rains Came. She starred on Broadway in Mame, performed at the Academy Awards, and entertained presidents from Charles de Gaulle to John F. Kennedy. In 2011, she was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Even in her later years, Morgan embodied timeless glamour. Listening to her sing Fascination today feels like stepping into a candlelit ballroom, elegant, warm, and unforgettable, a voice of a goddess, forever etched in music history. Jon Miyahara, beloved for his quietly hilarious role as Brett on NBC's Superstore, has tragically passed away at the age of 83. His middle daughter, Penny Capasola, confirmed to People that he died on Wednesday, August 6th, with his wife Chio by his side. Appearing in 105 of the sitcom's 113 episodes from 2015 to 2021, Miyahara became a fan favorite for speaking volumes with just a glance. His character Brett was famous for barely uttering a word, yet stealing countless scenes. The show even dedicated a storyline to him in the Season 3 episode Brett's Dead, underscoring his beloved status among cast and fans alike. Though largely private, Miyahara faced the demanding pace of a long-running network series with grace and humor, building warm bonds with colleagues and audiences. Co-star Colton Dunn remembered him as a really awesome guy and such a memorable part of the Cloud9 team, sentiments echoed by many castmates. For audiences, Jon Miyahara leaves a legacy of subtle comedy, warmth, and the rare ability to make silence speak louder than words. Loni Anderson, beloved for her portrayal of Jennifer Marlowe on WKRP in Cincinnati, has died just days before her 80th birthday. Her publicist confirmed to the Associated Press that she passed away on August 3rd at a Los Angeles hospital following a prolonged illness. Her family called her a cherished wife, mother, and grandmother. Anderson became a household name in the late 1970s with WKRP in Cincinnati, earning 3 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Emmy nominations. Her glamorous image and sharp comedic timing made her a staple on talk shows, variety specials, and stage productions. Beyond WKRP, she starred in films, theater, and numerous TV movies, cementing her status as one of the era's most recognizable actresses. Her personal life was often in the headlines, especially her tumultuous marriage and divorce from Burt Reynolds. Yet she maintained a steady career and later found enduring partnership with musician Bob Flick. She is survived by daughter Deidre, son Quentin, and grandchildren. Anderson's legacy blends television excellence, stage presence, and resilience, inspiring generations of performers and audiences alike. Jeannie Seely, the Grammy-winning voice lovingly called Miss Country Soul, has died at 85. Her representative confirmed she passed on August 1st, 2025, in Hermitage, Tennessee, from complications of an intestinal infection. Born in 1940 in Titusville, Pennsylvania, Seely chased her dream to Nashville in 1965 with just $50 and a Ford Falcon. 1 year later, her breakout hit, Don't Touch Me, reached number 1, 2 on the country charts, and earned her a Grammy. She joined the Grand Ole Opry in 1967 and performed there over 5,300 times, more than anyone in its history. A trailblazer, she broke dress codes in a miniskirt, became the first woman to host an Opry segment, and championed gender equality in country music. With hits like Wish I Didn't Have to Miss You and collaborations with Jack Green and Willie Nelson, her 6-decade career never slowed. Until the end, Jeannie Seely lived for the stage. Her voice, spirit, and fearless grace leave a legacy that will echo through country music forever. Kelley Mack, the beloved actress who captured hearts as Addie in The Walking Dead, has passed away at just 33, leaving fans stunned and deeply saddened. Her representative confirmed she died on August 2nd, 2025, in Ohio, from glioma of the central nervous system, adding that her death was very unexpected as she had been auditioning for roles as recently as June. With 35 acting credits and 5 producing credits, Mack's career spanned hit shows like Chicago Med, 911, and films including Broadcast Signal Intrusion and Delicate Arch. She also became a familiar face in commercials for Dr. Pepper, Dairy Queen, and most recently, a Rakuten ad with her mother, Kristen. Even while battling cancer, Mack continued working, refusing to let illness dim her creative spirit. Her family shared she passed peacefully, surrounded by loved ones, and has since returned to them in the form of butterflies, a tender symbol of her enduring presence. Her final role in an upcoming Universal film will stand as a lasting testament to her talent, warmth, and unwavering love for storytelling. David Roach, the gritty, magnetic voice of hard rock as frontman of Junkyard, has died at 59, just 2 weeks after marrying his longtime love. His band confirmed he passed away on August 3, 2025, at home in the arms of his wife, Jennifer, following a battle with aggressive squamous cell carcinoma affecting his head, neck, and throat. Roach joined Junkyard in 1987, signing with Geffen Records and releasing their self-titled debut in 1988. Known for raw energy and streetwise swagger, he led the band to cult success. In 1992, they were dropped by Geffen, and the band split, a crushing blow that halted his momentum. But in 2000, Roach reunited with his bandmates, reigniting their sound through relentless live shows and new music. Even after his cancer diagnosis in January 2025, he shared a final joyful moment, marrying Jennifer in July, surrounded by friends and fellow band members. Remembered as a gifted artist and devoted family man, David Roach leaves a legacy of resilience, rock and roll grit, and unshakable loyalty to his music and fans.
And I was supposed to do like I think 3 weeks, 2 years. Then I got there 5 years. They said to me,
Her name is Celine Dion. For more than 4 decades, she has been the voice that carried our joy, our heartbreak, and the moments too deep for words. From wedding aisles to long night drives, from quiet mornings to the last dance at the reception, her songs have been there, woven into the soundtrack of our lives. If one of them has been part of your story, share it below. This journey is not just hers. It belongs to all of us. Céline Marie Claudette Dion was born on March 30th, 1968, in Charlemagne, Quebec, a small town just northeast of Montreal. The youngest of 14 children, she grew up in a home that was modest in space but overflowing with music. Her father, Adhémar, played the accordion and violin. Her mother, Thérèse, possessed a warm, steady voice and the gift of turning the lively chaos of a large family into harmony. The Dion home was alive with laughter, clinking dishes, and the constant sound of piano keys and voices singing in unison. From her earliest days, music was not just entertainment, it was the heartbeat of the household. Even as a shy, quiet child, Céline's eyes would light up the moment a melody began. Her teachers noticed her gift, but it was her mother who understood its depth, a voice that carried raw emotion beyond her years. At 12, Céline recorded a demo of Ce n'était qu'un rêve, a song written by her mother and brother Jacques. That recording found its way to music manager René Angelil, who, upon hearing it, was moved to tears. "I knew I was listening to the voice of the future," he would later say. So certain was he of her potential that he mortgaged his own home to fund her first album. In 1981, at just 13, Céline released La Voix du Bon Dieu, becoming an instant sensation in Quebec. She performed on popular variety shows, captivating audiences with a voice both crystal clear and deeply human. Yet her ambitions reached far beyond the French-speaking world. In 1987, she began learning English, word by word, phrase by phrase, preparing for the leap into the global market. Her English language debut came in 1990 with Unison. The single, Where Does My Heart Beat Now, soared into the US top 10, introducing her to millions who had never heard her French repertoire. More hits followed, The Color of My Love in 1993 with The Power of Love and Think Twice, albums that sold tens of millions worldwide. Then, in 1997, came the song that would change everything. Initially hesitant to record another movie ballad, Céline was persuaded by René to sing My Heart Will Go On for James Cameron's epic film Titanic. The result was a cultural phenomenon: Oscar, Golden Globe, Grammy, and a melody that became a permanent part of the world's emotional memory. Her voice filled stadiums. Her Las Vegas residency, A New Day, beginning in 2003, redefined entertainment, inspiring countless artists to follow the model. By the early 2000s, she was more than a performer. She was a global icon, a veteran, mentor, and a living symbol of dedication to craft. But even at the peak of her glory, life was quietly preparing trials that no award or standing ovation could soften. Behind the lights, the ovations, and the endless applause, Céline Dion's life carried battles that no stage could shield her from. The first cracks appeared quietly in the very instrument that defined her, her voice. In the early 2000s, she began experiencing problems with her vocal cords. At first, it was called inflammation, but it was more than that. Performances were canceled. Las Vegas shows postponed. Her life, so carefully timed to curtain calls, was replaced by silence and strict vocal rest. For a singer, she once said softly, silence can feel like the end of your world. Still, she fought back. Vocal therapy, medical procedures, months of discipline. She returned, but life had more storms waiting. January 14th, 2016. René Angelil, her husband, her manager, the man who had believed in her since she was 12, passed away after a long battle with throat cancer. Just 2 days later, her brother Daniel died from cancer as well. It was a double loss so deep that words could not contain it. The hardest thing in life, Céline would later say, is losing someone you love. René had been more than a partner. He was her compass, the architect of her career, the anchor in her storms. His absence left a silence far greater than any canceled concert. At home in Las Vegas, she became both mother and father to their 3 sons, René Charles, and the twins, Nelson and Eddie, while carrying her own grief. She transformed her house into a sanctuary, keeping René's memory alive in stories, photographs, and a delicate gold necklace she still wears, a gift from him long ago. Through the pain, she returned to the stage. Each song carried new weight. Audiences could hear it. The voice was the same, but the heart inside it had changed. Then, in December 2022, another blow. In an emotional video to her fans, she revealed that she had been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that affects muscle control, movement, and even the ability to sing. The spasms could come without warning, sometimes affecting her voice, other times her ability to walk. The condition was so rare that few had even heard of it. But Celine, with her characteristic candor, chose to speak openly. "Life imposes things on you that you can't control," she said, "but you still have the choice to keep your heart open." The announcement was met with an outpouring of love. Fans across the globe sent letters, prayers, and videos. Celebrities praised her courage. And slowly, a different kind of legacy began to take shape. No longer just about the songs she sang, but about the way she faced life's most impossible moments. She could have disappeared from public life, but she didn't. Instead, she began working on a documentary, allowing cameras into her home, her treatment sessions, her quiet moments with her sons. She wanted the world to see the truth, not just the illness, but the resilience. She became an advocate for rare disease awareness, using her cultural impact to shine a light on a condition that affects only 1 in a million. Where once her life was defined by the roar of arenas, now it was measured in smaller, more intimate victories. A morning without spasms, a recording session completed, the laughter of her boys over breakfast. She found joy in fashion fittings, in swimming as therapy, in listening to old French ballads while the Nevada sun poured through the windows. And through it all, that spark remained. The same determination that had carried her from a small-town girl in Quebec to one of the most celebrated voices in history. This was her redemption, not a triumphant return to the exact life she had before, but the creation of a new life where she could still inspire, still connect, still be Celine. Today, Celine Dion lives quietly in Las Vegas, in a home adapted to the new realities of her health. She wakes without the rush of tour schedules, beginning her mornings slowly, sometimes with a swim, sometimes with a cup of warm tea in her hands as she looks out across the desert light. Her 3 sons remain the center of her world. René Charles, now a young man finding his own path, and the twins, Nelson and Eddie, growing fast under her watchful, loving eye. She can no longer step onto a stage night after night, but she has found new ways to create. Recording sessions are shorter, carefully planned around her energy. She meets with her team about the upcoming documentary, ensuring that it tells not just the story of her illness, but the truth of her comeback. A comeback not measured in sold-out arenas, but in the courage to live fully within new limits. She has become, in every sense, a veteran mentor, guiding young artists, encouraging them to protect their health, their voices, and their joy. Her legacy now stretches beyond music charts. She has become a voice for the millions facing rare diseases, raising awareness and funding research. The same platform that once sold out stadiums now carries her message across the world, inspiring people who may never hear her sing live, but who will feel her cultural impact in other, deeper ways. There are still fashion fittings. Her love for haute couture remains a constant, a reminder that art can be worn as well as sung. There are family dinners, often with French ballads playing softly in the background, the same way her childhood home once rang with harmony. And there is always the necklace from Renee, resting near her heart, an unbroken link to the man who believed in her before the world did. Perhaps the most moving image of her recent years came in 2024, when she appeared unexpectedly at a Las Vegas hockey game. The crowd erupted, not because she sang, but simply because she was there, smiling, waving, present. It was a reminder that her presence alone carries weight, that her redemption is as much about showing up as it is about overcoming. When asked what keeps her going, Celine answered with the same quiet grace that has carried her through every chapter. Life imposes things on you that you can't control, but you still have the choice to keep your heart open. And so we leave her there, in the soft glow of a late afternoon, sitting by the window with her tea, listening to her son's laughter in the next room. The camera pulls back, the music swells. Not to My Heart Will Go On, but to something quieter, more intimate, like the heartbeat of a life well lived. Celine Dion's story is not over. Her voice, whether in song, in advocacy, or in the way she lives each day, is still shaping her legacy. And if her journey has touched you, if you found a piece of yourself in her music or her courage, stay with us. Subscribe, share your story, and let's keep her light shining for generations to come.